Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Nelson, you're watching Nature Nell. And if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Please hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss what's coming up ahead because I am loaded with videos and I've been going crazy uploading, so you don't want to miss all the great stuff. So today is my favorite as always, what's in bloom. And there's so much to show you guys. Now you have seen some in the prior videos, but today I'm going to show you a little bit more of what's happening out there because there's been a lot of blooms spiking up, and surprisingly enough, everything is safe. I want to thank you guys for your concerns and your comments on the storm. Everything fared pretty well considering. I spoke to several people in the area, including the pizza place that is very close to me, and nobody had that. And when I show the film, everybody is in shock. Like, that never happened through here. Like, they had a little bit of rain, but they said, how did that happen? So what most people are saying is it could have been the beginnings of a tornado, and it was touching, unfortunately, my property, and that's why it had so much hail. And the hail sounded, instead of like raining hail, it sounded like it was being thrown like really hard. And so now that when I look at all my leaves and my vandas, I do see nicks on all of them. You see a lot of little nicks, like hairline nicks. So it did do some damage, but not damage to kill the plant. But hey, it's nature. So if you guys haven't seen that episode, it's a must to go back and watch, because I was lucky enough, I had my phone with me and I got caught in my shack back here, and I couldn't run to my house because the hail was coming down at such fast speed that it would have like punctured holes through me, because most of the leaves down here are full of, it looked like bullet holes. So for me, I was like, I had no choice but to stay there. So I was able to record a lot of it. I didn't get to record when it was at its worst because honestly, I was praying during that time. I was just hoping it would go away because the shack started vibrating and I was like, oh, this is not good. But I made it safe. It was a freak of nature, and in the literal term, and lucky thing, it's not something that happens all the time. That's, like I said, my parents built this house back in 1984, I think it was, or 85. They started building the house here, and they went through Andrew, they went through a lot of things, but other than that, it's just crazy weather, but not like that. That was something very special. So without further ado, let's go look at some blooms. All right, my friends, so let's start where we always start in our What's in Bloom segments. And let's just go right here. Lately, my totem pole, I call it my orchid totem pole, has been blooming a lot. Now these are, and I'm not gonna remember, they're Schomburgkias or murmur. By the way, I learned it this weekend over at the show, is murmurcophila. I kept saying murmurcophilia. It's murmurcophila. So this is a species, I just can't remember exactly the name. I don't know, it didn't have a tag. I got these at Krull-Smith, by the way. And these, they were taking out from the back, and surprisingly enough, they didn't have a tag. But Julian told me, you know what, I'll give you the name later on, and I forgot to ask him. But they got hit pretty bad. They were blooming beautifully. These are hits from, see, from the ice that was hitting, and look, those are the nicks, all that. When I look, it's a good thing I was here. You know why? Because I would have thought that something was happening to my plants. If I wouldn't have seen this hailstorm hit here, because there's no proof of it, within seconds it melts and it just turns into water. I would have just thought it was rain, and then I would have been seeing all my plants with these weird nicks all over. I would have been like, what is happening? So it was a good thing I was here, because I would have gone crazy spraying it with different things trying to cure it. But it's such a pretty flower. I'll still call it Schomburgkia though. I just like the name. All right, let's go inside where I have all my beautiful mounts. Now, this is a Brassia Rex that I got a long time ago, and I don't remember where I got it, but it was dying on me. And right before I started collecting the wood mounts from the Orchid Supply store, which is where I normally get them from, I was just getting like old pieces of wood that were lying around, and I would just create my own little mount. And I was experimenting, but I didn't know that it was going to do so well. And when I put it here, there's still leaves from the storm. When I put it here, it bloomed. It took about a year to, I would say a little bit less, about 8 months to really take to that piece of wood. But that's what I've been doing. I've been putting orchids on pieces of wood, and some of them are orchids that are like dying, and I couldn't figure out what medium to put them in. And as soon as I put them on a piece of wood, now be careful when you do this, because like I don't know how good this wood is, but like these are really good. These are the ones I get from the orchid supply store. My phone today is having focal problems. A viewer of mine says you have to tap the center. Oh, trust me, my fingers are tap dancing at this point. I don't even know how many times I'm going to tap it. Oh my God, let's move away from that. It's not liking that spot. So this one I recently just showed you guys, and a viewer of mine says she just ordered it from, hold on. Let me see if it wants to focus on my thumb or something. Yeah, she just ordered it, and unfortunately hers got thrips. So all the buds blasted. I'm sorry about that. When I read it, I felt really bad, because when it happens here, is like, ugh. You wait for something for so long, and there goes the thrips, just eat it up. So this one was from Springwater, and I featured her recently in my haul. And by the way, I didn't mention, she smells amazing. I had no idea she had fragrance. And I remember, I think Tang had told me she's fragrant. So she's really, really delicious. She has a very clean smell. And the colors on it, if you look at the petals, look how beautiful. Like you have these two solids, and then these have these stripes, and the same goes for the bottom. So all the flowers are the same. It's not like it's just all over the place. It's very well, you know, when you hybridize these orchids, that's what you look for balance and unison in color and tone. You want to see how the edges are what do you call it? There's a word for it. Not balance, but when something, consistency, it has a consistent shape. You know, it's not all over the place. That's how, those are part of the things that I've heard, because I'm not a judge, but I've heard that they look at. Now this one just opened. I got this on, I would say 5 years ago at the Tammany Orchid Festival. Same place that I just went, like 5 years ago. It was a bag baby, and I took a chance on it. And it's such a great orchid. It blooms for me every year. And unfortunately, I do have it. Because let me tell you, a lot of tags flew around. There it is, yeah. An RLC Greenwich Elmer. I found tags. I'm still finding tags on the floor. So that wasn't fun. But look at this flower, how pretty. And it just started folding. It was perfectly like a perfect star. It was so beautiful. But I think, you know, with the ice coming in here and hitting them, I'm surprised they all this stuff, this whole shelf, by the way, was empty. When I got here, this whole area here had fallen to the back. And then I had all my haul here, and everything got thrown into the back. So I had to go all the way to the bottom and kind of pull them all out. And nothing, no flowers were damaged. I'm still in shock with that. Now, here's another one that I got from Tang at Springwater. I know this almost feels like a repeat of the haul, guys. Just bear with me. I'm just trying to go in order, because I know that there's new people watching now, and if they haven't seen the haul, here we go. Epicattleya Jackie Bright and Epicattleya. I don't know if it's Epicattleya, because one is EPL. The crows are having fights. EPLC, and the other is EPI. So I'm sure you viewers are going to tell me, because you guys are so smart. You tell me all these things that I you know, like I'll mention on the channel, and within minutes I'm getting like somebody telling me what it is. So I learn a lot that way. Even though it takes me several times to remember, I don't remember everything all, you know, especially all the stuff I'm always researching. So anyways, I love this bundle of flowers. It's just the balance of it as well. It's like the other one, and it also is fragrant. And the tone, the transitions here of tone between that brown into the yellow, and then you have that spark of pink. I'm putting my hand in the way, like if that's a thing. Here you go. I'm just trying to get you the front. And the fragrance is delicious. It's a little bit more fragrant than the other one, but it's just a pretty flower. All right, and move it away. These are my pitcher plants from Krull-Smith. They're doing wonderful. I keep this full of water. I only give it RO water. It's the water we drink here. So she seems to love it. And I just realized something. Julian, I know you're watching. Look, this is not going to turn red, is it? I like it. I like the white and green. And I saw that you had white and green, one that was all white and green. So it just started growing in here. So I actually got one that has two colors. It has the red and has the white. So I am super stoked. Laz's gift to me, it's on his last flower. This is the Florida rainbow flower, and it's also from Krull-Smith, and that's the full name. I'm being very careful with my tags because I don't want to keep losing. And then this one, a lot of you guys make comments about this fowl. The Firefox, Freya's Firefox Wilson. I want to do a little project with this. So I haven't decided if I'm going to do it yet in front of the camera, or if I'm going to just do it and then just show you guys. I'll think about that one. But anyway, this was on my wish list for a while. And when I went to Krull-Smith over in Apopka a couple of videos ago, for you guys who are just tuning in or new viewers, check it out, because they had so many of these and I had caught them on film, but I had left them over there. So thank God we had the show here at Tamiami and they had a booth. So Julian brought them all back for me, and they look amazing. They look even better than when I picked them out, because they were opening when I picked them out. Now, one of them already it's already losing all the leaves. Right, I'm sorry. Okay, that one. So I got 3 of these. And then Julian swapped this one for one, swapped another one for this one that has buds. So I don't know, I might wait for the flowers to kind of, I don't know, I'll wait before I do it. I don't want to do it when I sometimes do it when it's blooming, but phals can be a little bit finicky. And now this one, I don't have a tag. Another one I don't have a tag. It's a species. I'm gonna try to see if I can remember this. I think it's, hold on, I think it's Prisma locatum, something Prisma. It's a species in Cyclia. And it's already like, the flowers are already going. My God, this when it was in full bloom, it was gorgeous. There's a kind of pseudo, she's also kind of going. But they're really pretty when they're in full bloom. And the flower lasts a really long time. Now this is a Dendrobium parishii. The white one, they call them albas. Anything that you see that says alba means that it's pretty much all white. If it's semi-alba, it's all white with maybe a touch of a color. But this one is an alba. This one has no tone. It's a solid white. And I gotta tell you, the fragrance on this, if you guys don't have this in your collection, get it. It is like bubble gum. I love it. It smells like grapey bubble gum. And it's a very generous bloomer. And I got this a while ago. I think I got this about a year ago, and it's giving me like several canes. And now that a couple of months ago, I would say like 3 months ago, I put it on that piece of wood, and I'm glad I did, because it really bloomed nicely this year. Really, really nice. And behind it is the same one. This is a pink. They just call this here, I'll show you. I like to do this because this way you guys see exactly. And the other one is exactly this, just alba, A-L-B-A. And again, the bubblegum grapey smell is just delicious. See, you saw that skip there? You see it? I'm not doing anything. That's iPhone doing that. Those 3 lenses, you know, they just, I don't know, I'm surprised they didn't check that glitch out. It skips when you try to switch from one lens to the other. But look how gorgeous that is. You see, when I'm back here and I'm just looking at these and you hear the birds in the background, this is called awakened state of meditation. And for you guys, see, for me, it's very hard to meditate. And meditate is no hocus pocus or religious or anything. Because some people say that, but I'm like, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with you centering your body and your mind and your energy. So if you have trouble rebalancing yourself or your energy, nature is our go-to place. All right, it has a high vibrational frequency. And if you're having a bad day or you're having a day of a hard day, just go out to nature, go out to your garden, hang out for a little bit. And because you're out here, your plants have the power of distracting you. And so you start letting go of those negative thoughts, and that's how you raise your vibration. So you're kind of doing a meditation, but awake. So if you can't do regular meditation like me, it's so hard for me. I do them, but man, is it hard. When I come back here, I spend hours, and I don't realize how long I've been here. And when I go back home, I'm like, oh my God, it's 11. I went out there when it was like 5:30. And that's what meditation is. When you meditate, the time goes by and you don't realize it. For you, it's just a few minutes. All right, and that's my 101 on nature's meditation. All right. So we'll slide right into this, which is this beautiful encyclia that smells like delicious chocolate. And guys, I don't have a tag. You did give me a name. I am so sorry. I don't remember right now. I'm going to try to see if I find it, but I'm not promising anything. I had a tag, and that one, when I moved it to this section here, I lost the tag. So now I have to re-tag her. And thing is, when I read your messages, if I'm not anywhere by the house, I kind of like tend to forget, because once I read, I move forward to the next one. And I do photograph them and keep them in my photos, but now I have so many that I forget some. So my apologies for not knowing the name of this one, but let's just observe its beautiful shape and color. It's so like violety pink. It's the color that comes to mind, because it's not pink and it's not violet. Oh, here we go. See, it's not me. It's trying to pick a lens. Pick a lens, iPhone. Pick a lens. You got 3 to pick from. Oh my God. So anyway, I'm just in love with this. And every year she gives me this many. That's why I always put her here, because I like to see this. Here, I'll show you. I like to see the side view. It looks like a little jungle that you can see through. Now, I don't want to forget this one. I almost passed right by it. I don't think I talked about this one, Ben's fragrance. I was talking about meditation and all that, and I didn't even talk about it. See what happens when you get distracted? So this is a Ben fragrance from Banyang. And I will tell you, this is probably my favorite Vanda in the greenhouse, because it continues releasing this fragrance from day to night. And the colors and the shape and the pattern is just so vintage and beautiful that I would nominate this, believe it or not, probably my favorite. Not that I don't love you guys, all right? I love you all. But as far as like the one, my go-to that I really love because it blooms a lot and it has an amazing fragrance, it would be this one. Now, I'm going to do a video. Somebody tagged me. I can't remember his name. Toki World, I believe. They tagged me into doing a video as far as what is an orchid that kind of defines me. Now, the orchid that defines me, I don't have, and I don't know if I'll ever have it because it's a very rare orchid, but I'm not going to say right now what it is. I'd rather leave it for the video, but I want to talk about that. I don't have own photos of that orchid, so I'll probably have to borrow from online or something, but I will transition it into what my favorite defining orchids in the greenhouse are. So that way it'll be a little bit fair, because I really wanted to show an orchid that I have, but I don't know if I won't say I don't know if I'll ever have it. I think I will have it someday, but it's a very difficult orchid to have. Now this is a yellowbird. I got this at Brethren's, and I had it now for a good 9 months, and I was just telling Lisa at Brethren's, I was like, you know, the plant's doing beautifully, but no blooms. And she goes, really? It should have bloomed already. And I'm like, nope. And when I got back here, I told her this in a pop gun. When I got here, it had a spike. I was like, why does that always happen? No, it's not blooming. You tell the vendors, and then they go, check again. And then when you check, it's there. Then you feel like a fool. But anyways, I don't mind feeling like a fool if this is the reward. It's a beautiful cross. Here, let me see. Here, this is the cross. Nodosa with a Richard Mueller. I know this. I'm just grabbing these tags for you guys because that way you can see the way it's spelled. But I'm going to start doing that instead of so much editing, because the editing. And this little one here, she's still surviving the last from this cane. This is the Twinkle on City and Marguerite, or Margaret. And I got this from the Orchid Fix from Mr. Hurame. This was my very first plant I bought from him, but it just keeps giving. See, there's wait, hold on. No, you don't see, because I'm too zoomed up. See the spikes? One there and one there. So she's always giving. Now right behind it is my Thai Ghost Orchid. This is a beautiful little orchid. It's very unique. I got this at Banyang's, and I got it about a year ago. And I got 3 of them. This is the only one that actually did well. The other one died, and then the other one shot like 6 spikes, and literally within 3 days it was all dry. I don't understand. But this one did very well. And this is also a Parisiae? Hold on. It's called, oh my God, I don't want to hurt the Chino, yeah, Parisiae, because it was 2. Hold on, let me see if I can do this. Oh man, I'm doing this with one hand. All right, Chinoschista Parisiae. All right, and there's different kind of Chinoschistas. There's variegated, there's cranberry. Oh, sorry, I was about to turn this vertical. Variegated cranberry one with yellow, but this one is adorable. I really like this one because I love these colors together. The like a pistachio green and like that creamy white. I love those tones. I have an encycli here that I think it's going to bloom in those tones. I'm hoping it does. And it's just so pretty. So these have no leaves. They're leafless orchids. And the only way you can see them out in the wild is when they're blooming. And when they're mature, like this is very young orchid. When they're mature, they shoot like 15, 20 of those, and it just looks amazing. I've seen them, but they're very expensive to purchase when they're that mature. Now down here is a Bubaphyllum. It's a species. I'm starting to point out the species because I have a lot of viewers that are into species, and honestly, I love species, and I'm getting more and more into them. And look at it, it's just so mesmerizing. It takes away my train of thought. I got this a long time ago, about 6 years ago, from a lady in a flea market in Tampa called Old Smart Flea Market. It's still there, and she's still there, and she has a little booth, and she sells some of the coolest orchids. She's from Haiti. Her name is Moe, and she is so awesome. She loves what she does. She loves her plants, and when she meets somebody that knows about orchids, she lights up. So that's how we met, and this was one of the orchids I bought from her. I'll show you the first one I bought from her, and look how big it's gotten. This thing is mammoth. And then here's another. I just moved her into this huge wood box that I got from OFE's Orchid Supply, which I gotta say, these wood boxes are fire. I love them so much. They're so cool, so design. They look like a designer piece. If you get the long, like I got the very long hooks or hangers, it just looks like a beautiful sculpture with an orchid in it. So if you guys are looking for these, try checking them out and online. I believe they do ship these. I'm not sure, but you might want to call first and ask, because there are certain things I don't think that they ship. So anyways, back to this bicolor. I had this for a while. It blooms for me every year, but as a species, it only blooms once a year. But boy, does it give me plenty of growth. All back there. I have so much new growth, including all the blooms that it gave me. Now, right over here, I have an Ecuagenera bubble film. And by the way, you know what? Let me show you the tag. It's really easy to spell out. It's a little bit rubbed out, but it's Bulbophyllum bicolor, COLOR. I don't know why it's always been that rubbed out. So here is this other Bulbophyllum. I'll show you how cute that is. Ain't that adorable, guys? I got this at one of OFE's fairs. Ecuagenera was there. This is the name. Bulbophyllum biflorum. Another species. I think most of the orchids from Ecuagenera, I think, are from Ecuador, if not all. I'm not sure, but by the most part, I think they are. And Ecuador and our temperatures here in Miami and in Florida are very, very, not that they're similar, orchids there do well here as well. So that's why I stressed before, when you buy an orchid, you know, always ask what kind of climate, what altitude, is it a tropical, subtropical, is it a cold loving orchid, is it a ground orchid? You want to ask all those questions, because sometimes in the show they have a little bit of everything, because it's not fair just to sell one climate type of orchid. There's people from all over the world that go to these things and they take it back home. You take it back to Germany, it's completely different weather. I know of a German collector that has the most amazing orchids, but they would never do well here. But just keep that in mind, you know, because the vendors don't know where you're taking it, and unless you mention something, you know, and then people get upset at the vendor. It's like, well, they didn't know. They're just selling their orchids. You just have to ask. Oh my God, that sounded horrible. I'm sorry, that sounded like somebody was fighting or yelling at someone. So anyways, this is the first one I got from Maui at the Oldsmar flea market. And look how big that dendrobium is. It's massive. Oh, it's that neighbor. He's yelling at his dog. I don't like when people do that. There's different ways of disciplining. You don't have to yell. So anyways, here is... I'm sorry, guys. I don't like when I hear people treating animals like that. So anyway, this one I've had for quite a while as well. I think I got it 6 years, and I got this one 5 years. That's how it was, because this is the first one I got, and then the following year I went and I saw her again and I got this one because I love this was doing so good. So it's called a green flash. It's a dendrobium green flash. I used to think this was a species, but it's not. Apparently it isn't, because it's a cross. So if you guys get your hands on this and you live like in Miami or in a warm climate, they do really, really well. They do super well. Like, you can't kill them. And I showed this in my haul, but look how gorgeous. My caladiums from the Orchid Supply store was a gift. And I'm so loving these. They're just so amazing. The patterns, the color, and it adds so much into the begonia area. And yes, you guys had asked me about my bat plant. This one is the white. I think they call the white. There's one that's very rare. I didn't know this. The boys at OFE's told me about this, and I asked them. They say, no, the one that you have is the one that's very rare. Take good care of it. So here's a pod, and then I noticed it had, I think, another pod Well, actually, it's a leaf. Nope, there it is. It's another pod right here. Oh, right there, behind that stem. Oh, and there's another one there. Oh, she's gonna shoot a lot. There's 3 plants in here. I bought this small years ago, and now they're super hard to find. And I'm like, man, I should have gotten more. But this plant, I've learned so much from her, and she likes tons of water. The more water, the better. If you watered it too much, you didn't water it enough. That's how I see it. As in the grammatophyllums, if you're watering them, if you water them once, you water them too much. This one's the opposite. If you water them too much, you're not watering them enough. So right here above, by the way, look, because we now have a mister, it's becoming another hanging spot. You can't give me hanging spots because I'm gonna find stuff for it. So anyways, this has a really long name. So I am going to show you guys. I always call it just a Bangkok sunset, but let me see, because the sun right now, it's right above me, so it's in a bad spot. Let me see, maybe I'll take it down. Come here. Here we go. There we go. Look at that, how pretty. And like I told you guys before, these are the type of flowers that I call avatar flowers, because they literally are glowing. And in the sun, I mean, you really see how they glow. And this time it gave me 2 beautiful shoots. Now, a lot of you guys told me that you like when I take my time showing the flower. So I'm trying to gauge how long, to stay there and show a flower. So you guys tell me if you like how I'm doing it today, because I'm just trying to take my time, even if it goes a little bit long. Most of you tell me that you sometimes even watch it in parts. So that's what I do with a lot of long videos. I love it because I like to watch them in parts. So then this is a Bulbophyllum from Krull-Smith. I know, guys, I have a lot of Krull-Smith stuff, but can't help it. It's just, their stuff is so good and so well taken care of. And I mean, look at this plant, how healthy it is. And this was one of the first ones. Oops, sorry. Now it wants to focus on the flower. One of the first ones I bought when I started doing my show. And it's just really, really nicely developed. It's a Bulbophyllum. Oh, come on. Oh no, we're gonna have the dog barking now. I knew that was about to happen because of the gentleman. I'm just being kind by saying gentleman. Started yelling and screaming at him. So it's a Bulbophyllum falcatum. I'm probably gonna have to stop this and start later again because I can't do a whole video with a dog barking. You know what? Yes, guys, to be continued. All right, guys, so several hours later, the dog is quiet and it rained. It rained for about an hour or so, and now the sun is coming. It's setting really nicely, so I can show you this in a better light. Now you can really see how bright it is. Looks so pretty in this lighting. Okay, so we covered that one. Now let's go here. This is also, okay, I'm gonna sound so repetitive. This is also a Krull-Smith. Here, I'll show you the name first. Now let me see if I can get that same lighting. Sorry, mosquitoes. Here we go. I love it because it's like a bubblegum pink. And she still has a way to go, but she just started opening recently. And I love this one. I'm trying to get good lighting, but for some reason it has like a shadow. There we go. No, it's really hard. Oh, and I don't want to destroy my orchids. trying to get the right lighting. Hold on, let me just put it there. Yeah, sometimes the sun works for you here, but sometimes see how it creates these casts these shadows. Let's go to the next one. Let's see. If not, I'm gonna have to like try this on a different time. Now this one is the Tessellata cross with Mimi Palmer, which is also a Krull-Smith Vanda. And I got this one the first time I visited them. Look how beautiful that is. You can definitely see the Mimi Palmer, but then it has those cute little flips around the petals. It's skipping. My phone is skipping on its own. It's got a mind of its own. Oh, I almost forgot. Let me show you this. I got this at Banyang's a while back, a couple of years ago. I can't remember what the name of this plant is, but look, it's blooming for me. It hasn't bloomed in quite a while. Why does this phone do this? Hold on, let me see something. I guess this is the only way to do it when you're filming. Yeah, it's like a little wheel, and then you do it and the transition is smoother, but sometimes I don't want to use that little wheel. See, it's very pretty. It's paper thin. I love it. It's very delicate, and it looks like it's going to give me a lot more. It has another leaf coming out, so it's a strong plant. All right. I have covered these before the Oktoberfest. These are Oktoberfest, forgot the name now. It's in there. I'm gonna have to look for it. But these are horrible to capture because they kind of look down. So let me see if I can do this. There we go. That looks very pretty. It's catching the light from behind. And it has that deep cranberry. So it almost has the colors that I like. The yellow is just very faint. And that's because it's already going. See, they change in tone. See how pretty that is? And that's Oktoberfest. Now this one is the one I call salsicha. Every time I say that name, it makes me laugh. Because in Spanish, it sounds like it's sausage. So here, let me get the tag. It's from RF. Yay, one that's not from Krull-Smith. This one's from RF. And it has, again, the Tessellata, which is, by the way, a species, a Vanda species. And it's crossed with a Vanda Vasco salsicha. So it's a really, really pretty purple. And I like it because, like in the center, it reminds me a little bit of the Ben fragrance that I just showed you a while ago. But then it ombres out to these like lavender tones. So it's really, really pretty. And again, it has that little alien being in the center that's so cute. And I had to put this here because it's so heavy. It keeps folding over. I don't know if this happens to your Vandas, but mine tend to fold over. Now this one, I am loving this one very much. This is a species as well. Well, this is not. The one I just showed you was a cross with species, but this one is a species. This is a Vanda Marie. Mary I always say it the wrong way. Here we go. Vanda Marii. And this time it gave me two cute little spikes. Now I hear that they do bloom a lot for a species, and it is true. This one has bloomed for me already like 3 times since I got her. And I got her at not this show, the one before, the other Tamiami show. That was, I think, in last October. Hold on, let me try to do the little wheel. It still skips and it still does non-focusing. Yeah. See how it focuses on the background? Even though there's a subject in the foreground? Man, I'm not happy with this phone. All right, well, I should say I'm not 100% happy. There's a lot of things I do like. And then this one is the Ascetsenda Tavivat. I got this at Banyang's, and this one has a fruit punch, almost like Fruit Loop smell. I have several orchids here that have that Fruit Loop smell. It seems to be a fragrance that carries out in some orchids. And here's the way I'm gonna have to show you this sideways. Hold on. Ascocenda tavavant. And this one, I've only seen these in Banyang. I don't know if other people sell, I'm sure other people sell it, but I've seen it mainly at Bangyang's. And he's got one over there that's massive. It's just for display, and that's what drew my attention to it. And he brought me this one from the back, and it has bloomed for me quite a lot. I think this is like the 5th time it blooms, but it's such a pretty red. And then below, I showed you guys this in my haul, but let's revisit it because it looks so pretty. And it's my grammatophyllum. There's no tag for it. There's actually a specific name. I'm gonna put it under. A viewer gave it to me, and I copied the comments, made a screenshot of it, so I can put it under here. But it's so pretty. Look at the pattern on the leaves. It's like a leopard. And then the center reminds me a little bit of a Solangeany. There's a Solangeany that I want that looks very much like that. I can't remember the name now. It's a species. All right. And let's see what we have here. These are almost on their way out. Well, this one's just starting to peek through, which is the Joyce. I bought this from Springwater at the same show that I was just talking about at the not Fairchild Gardens. Homestead Orchid show at the Fruit and Spice Park. There's so many shows that I've gone, and there's so many back to back that I'm starting to mix them. So that's what this is, and it's a beautiful bubble phylum. I'll see if I find a picture of it. And it's like a little white ball, and it has really nice fragrance. So let's see, I don't want to miss out on anything. Oh, wait a minute, this beauty right here. So this is a Grammatocymbidium. It's a cross between a Grammatophyllum and a Cymbidium. It's a Nathan Newman. And I bought this orchid about 4 years ago, I think, maybe a little bit more, over at OFE's. I just randomly went to buy some supplies, and they had this orchid. It was so majestic when I got it. I mean, it's even bigger now, but compared to the other orchids that were there, it was very majestic. And I loved it because it gives that, there's a Cymbidium that has a flower very similar, and I loved it. This time it gave me, well, not this time, it usually gives me 2 big spikes. But I put it here in the entrance, and I like the way this looks because it just showcases the flower really nicely. And it's a non-fragrant, but it's so pretty. It reminds me of little doves sitting inside. And now next to that, it's, by the way, I found the tag the other day. I just found it on the floor. I didn't even know I had it. There it is. It's pretty bad. Alcra, I don't know what Alcra is, but it is that. Pacific Nova Olica. Well, this is actually the name of that, because I looked online and I go, oh, it's this, what I keep calling Brassia Rex, but I guess that's the actual name. And I just love the way it opened this year so beautifully. The colors are so bright and clean. It's a really, really cool flower, and it's already starting to dry out, but it's so pretty that even when it starts drying out, it still looks good. And it's got another spike right underneath, ready to open. Which, by the way, I did get a couple of buds blasting here and there, not anything major. But But I did, and I sprayed for thrifts, so I'm just keeping an eye out. Now let me see. Oh, I have another thing. I have another one here that just opened. Which, by the way, guys, I'm going to show you what the hail does. You see here? See all these little white specks? That's all from the hail. It's crazy, huh? So this is my Mocara. Laz gave me this Mocara, and it was at one of the Tamiami shows about 5 years ago. It's crazy, I remember a lot of these. And he bought one for himself and gave me this as a gift. And this is, again, the other gift that keeps on giving. There's another little spike there. You see it back there? And so she's very giving. Now, I noticed that Blanca mounts some of her Vandas on that clay thing with a little fence thing. I think I'm gonna do that for this because she's a really pretty flower, and I want her, she's gotten a little beat up here, and she's so giving and generous that I want to go ahead and give her the proper type of home. I mean, I like the spot she's in, and she likes it too, but I think she needs to be raised and put on a pedestal, I was gonna say. Yeah, that pretty much. All right, so that's a Mocara. And nothing here. This is our little work area. Oh, I just noticed some hibiscus opening. Well, these blooms are pretty, but they got pretty beat up too. These are one of my few hibiscus. Hold on. Let's put it towards the sun. Let's be smart about this. Here we go. And I love this one because of the color is so deep. It's like a purplish fuchsia. And she's coming back. I cut her back because hibiscus like to be cut back. And she's blooming for me again. I also sprayed her for bugs because they're prone to getting bugs. And look at my frangipani, my plumeria. This is the one that got cut off by a wind, another freak wind. I'm telling you, this year has been pretty interesting with the weather patterns in my area, because I ask around and it's nowhere else. It's in my area. It was so strong that it broke this entire piece. I'll show you where I have it. I have it in that little thing of water, and it seems to really like it. My partner Lewis had thrown it out thinking it was damaged, but when I went to throw the trash, it had buds. I'm like, what? So I took her out, put her in that thing of water, and look, she gave me leaves and flowers. I think it's so pretty. So I'm gonna plant her somewhere. She is rooting, so I'm gonna plant her somewhere around here. Don't know yet. I would like it to be back here. If I can take some of these trees out and put it back here, I think it would be much nicer. All right, guys, I think that's it. I think that's all. By the way, some of you had, through the storm thing, said that you hadn't seen, your new viewers. So these are Vandaliers. These were rattan chairs from Pier 1 that my partner Lewis, I think, picked up at the flea market, and he just thought that, well, maybe we can do something with it. So he had them here for a while, and I was like, okay, what do we do with these things? Why did you collect this? And he's like, oh, I've been thinking about what we can do with them. So once he said that, I don't know, I just looked at them and I said, let me flip it around. I go, it kind of looks like a chandelier. And then when I realized, hold on, I can hang the Vandas and create like a jellyfish look. And so in my head, it sounded like a good idea. So I was like, well, let's see how it looks when we put it together. So I told Lewis, he's like, oh, I think that's a brilliant idea. Yes, let's do that. So he immediately went to work, did all the cable crossings from one tree to the other. Then, you just raise it up and down through a little wheel gauge. And it withstood that storm. I mean, not one of them fell out at all. And if you look at the video, briefly, you'll see that they're flying sideways. They were vertical. They were flying this way like this, and nothing fell out. So this is where we keep our ladies in waiting. This is when they're not blooming or they don't have any spikes. I put them here or I put them there. And I call this Vanda Lane. So on Vanda Lane, if you see Vandas here, it's because they're not spiking yet or they don't have any blooms, or I usually take them inside because once I see a spike, I want to protect it. Because out here we have squirrels and things, even though they, you know, they've been good. Look, they don't even touch these. These are my Yamato, Maxillaria tenuifolia Yamato. I'm sorry, Yamata. Yamato is something else. I know something called Yamato. I'm trying to remember what it is. But this is Yamata. And these smell like sugar cookies. The Maxillaria tenuifolia smells, which is that one over there, it's no longer in bloom. Smells like I'm trying to capture a good spot here because there's so many little tiny grasses. There we go. And so this one, the Maxillaria tenuifolia has a coconut smell. This one has a sugar cookie smell, but it's even more pungent than the other one. I like it a lot. It's a little hard to get to bloom, but once you get it blooming, it just takes off. You know, and I have to like keep fixing them because they kind of get wonky the way they grow. So I just use regular tie wraps or wire wrapping, and I just like a bonsai, I like bring them up and fluff them up to make them look a little more. Well, now that we're here, these are the Spathoglottis that I think I'm saying that right. You know, I'm gonna go back and check because I'm saying it with so much conviction, and maybe it's not even the right name because I'm not used to showcasing these. But these Lewis bought, he wanted to fill this whole area with these type of ground orchids. And we went to Santony and they had so many different kinds. I was like, oh my God, we're looking for these everywhere and you end up having all these different colors. And I think I paid like, I don't know, 15 per one, like really good prices. I mean, look at this one. And I love the fact that there's so many varieties. So pretty. Thanks to this big tree, they didn't get that damaged. They didn't get damaged at all, actually. Let's see this one. This one's starting to open, but it's so pretty too. Has pretty colors. The rest of them don't have anything yet. They were blooming at one point. This one I don't know if I'm going to keep here because this is the one that gets really big, and the other ones are tiny. This one gets massive, so I want to keep it in the medium-sized ground orchid. So I hope I was calling that correctly. Spathoglottis. I think that's it. I don't know why. It just makes me feel like it's not right. If I check back there and I'm calling it something completely different. All right, guys, let me turn this camera around because I think we are finito. All right, guys, as usual, I always forget something and I don't want to let this one go. This is a dendrobium I got from Joshua Jones from the Orchid Den. He had a booth over at OFE's fair, and he had this one. He only had this one on display, and I took it with me. This one is such a beautiful, I saw it in the show. It was massive. Here we go. Burana Jade variegated. Now, I don't know if this is a species. It might be a hybrid. I'm not sure. I don't think there's a species. But again, look at the tone and the texture on that flower. It's so beautiful. I was walking in here and I'm like, oh, I forgot you. How can I forget you? You're one of my faves. I love green flowers. It's so different, you know? We're so used to seeing like red or pink or purple flowers or yellow, but green, and then you have this little like spray on the edges of white. Very, very nice. And I know I featured my Satan Fidenia, not Fidenia, hold on. This one here, Satan Fidea. Let me see if I can get the tag for you. It's gonna be a little bit hard to read, but There you go, Santony. I was saying it wrong. I don't know why. I know how to say this name, but then when I say it wrong. Mitrata yellow. And this is the one I got from Smiley. And I love it because it has a little yellow tones on the petals, but it also has that pink in the center. And then on the very tip, it has a little like spray of pink. It's a beautiful, beautiful flower. And you know, this one is, like I said, it's not really an easy one to find, but there was NT Orchids, had a whole box of these. I ended up buying the White Alba. And actually it's a pretty big size. It's the one right behind it. That's the White Alba right there. And then this one, which is on its way out, is a oh my God, here we go. Fanadia. Oh my God, what is wrong with me? Fidania Mitrata. You got to give me A for trying, because I don't give up. I keep trying. And so this one is a pink one, but see, it's already on its way out. It's not looking so fresh. So, all right. So I missed those two, and I'm sorry. I didn't even notice it. All right. So let me cut it right here. All right, everyone, that is it. That is the end of the road for today. I hope you enjoyed all the blooms I had to show you. I was able to show you some things that were not just orchids. So I was happy about that because I usually forget. So today I wanted to make sure, and I think because we had all these interruptions, it gave me time to think about what to show you. So see, silver lining. So anyways, I am going to close this channel because the reason I'm in tank top and a hat, it is so humid today. It was clocking at 61% humidity and temperature was at 88, and they said the humidity was making it feel like 96, and it did, or it is. It's already like 4:35. It's going into 5 o'clock, so it's starting to cool down a little bit, but it's very hot. All right, guys, I will see you on the next episode. I am thinking about doing the episode of the tagging that I had mentioned to you about, but I don't know yet. I have to really think about this one because I don't like to do things on the fly like that. I like to really, if it's supposed to be what orchid identifies me. So I had to think about that one, and then it just hit me. The reason I started loving orchids so much, and I started loving photography as well of nature. And it took one orchid, but I don't want to say what orchid does it. I'm sure you guys are going to be saying all these orchids, and I'm not going to mention it yet, but that's the orchid that catapulted me into the world of orchideas. I think I said that right. Orchideas. All right, guys. So I will see you in the next episode. I am Nelson. You're watching Nature Nell. Hit that subscribe button. Don't leave before hitting that subscribe button. And remember to always keep it green. See you next time.